welcome back to Mona and Yanita. We're back with our second vaccine video. We want to tell you guys about how our second vaccine felt and what we experienced. It was, let's just say, it was
not well.
not too good. But again, we are not experts. I just want to say this in the beginning of the video. We are just sharing our personal experiences about symptoms, reactions, different kind of things that we felt after. Okay, so do you want to talk about your Pfizer vaccine second dose first?
I'd love to. So to recap the first dose, I got the Pfizer vaccine and I had very minimal symptoms, just arm soreness, had a little bit of fatigue for the day after, but then that was pretty much resolved within a day, so I consider that very mild. So now let's flash forward to me getting the second vaccine. So I go in 3 weeks later, go in at the same time, I get the dose, and then once again, we have a 15-minute period of observation, waiting there, everything goes fine, and then I go on with the rest of my work day, and then go home. So then later that night, I already started feeling a lot of arm pain, and I did get it in my left arm. So what was different was with the first vaccine, I didn't have any arm pain that same day, but this time I did. So I'm trying to move it, I'm massaging it, hoping that that'll make some kind of difference. So the night does not go well for me. I could not get any bit of sleep. So this happened to be the night before the inauguration, I remember, because the next day was not great. I was tossing and turning. I maybe slept 2 to 3 hours that night. I felt ill. And throughout the night, I'm like feeling my neck, feeling my forehead. I'm like, I don't know, I think I might have a fever. Like something just does not feel right with me. So I wake up that morning, meaning I've been awake, but I really wake up. It's 4 a.m. And I go and take my temperature. Now I'm one of those weird people and I take my temperature in Celsius even though I live in America, because that's
the best part.
That's how I grew up doing it, so that's what I'm used to. And I guess for a reference point, I have pretty low body temperature. Mine usually ranges 36.2 to 36.6 on any given day.
Do you know what that conversion of that is to Fahrenheit or no?
I do not, but we can include it in the slides. Or in the description down below if you're curious. Or
if anyone does know, just put it in the comment section.
Yeah, we love the metric system. So I took my temperature and it was 37.2. Now, I think that's equivalent to 98.6, which is not a fever, but it's much higher than what I normally experience. I never experience any type of fever, and as I generally have low body temperature, I was feeling this and I was feeling pretty ill. So I let my boss know I will not be coming in for the day. I'm just not well. So the day progresses and I still had an appetite, thankfully. I didn't really have fatigue. I was just tired from the whole not sleeping the night before. I wanted to get some sleep that day, but they were doing construction at the apartment next door, banging, sawing, drilling the entire day. So that didn't really work out so well, but distracted myself with watching the inauguration, all of that. But I took my temperature, I would say it was around 8 a.m. now, and it was 38 degrees, which equates to about 100 degrees, 100.4. So that's considered a fever at that point. So that's when I actually took some Tylenol, and I believe what they recommend is not to take any Tylenol prophylactically because it might depress the immune response, but to take it afterwards once you start feeling symptoms. That's what I did. It knocked my fever down a bit, but then it was slowly creeping back up to in the 37-degree range. So I took some again, and this whole time I'm feeling very tired. I'm feeling chills. I'm feeling that fever. My body is warm, but I still can't get warm, if that makes any sense. Like, I still need all that extra layers of warmth because I'm shivering. Then I would say around that evening, my fever broke. I did take some Tylenol just to be able to sleep through the night to make sure it didn't spike. And then I woke up the next morning completely fine. And to talk about,
Yeah, it's almost like a switch that they turn on and off.
Yeah.
It's just amazing because that was, I'll talk about my experience, but pretty much it went on for 24 hours, 36 hours, and then it just like completely disappeared. So, yeah.
And then just to touch on arm soreness a bit, that second day while I was having the fever, my arm soreness was actually a lot less than it was with the first vaccine. So with the first vaccine, I couldn't even lift it like 2 inches without feeling extreme pain. This one, I could lift it up. Only then, at this point, would I feel some kind of soreness. But otherwise, nothing like that. So now, Mona, on to you with Moderna.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the Moderna second vaccine. So Yanita got the second vaccine of Pfizer. And then I got the second dose of Moderna. So my experience, so I got the vaccine in the afternoon because everyone had warned me. They said, make sure you get the vaccine in the afternoon because you might, feel either a headache or something during the workday. So I made sure I got it closer to the afternoon. I think it was around 3:45. So I got the vaccine, I went home, everything was fine. Pretty much I went about my day. And around, I believe it was nighttime when I started experiencing arm soreness, but this time it was like the worst arm soreness I've ever experienced. The first one, I had the opposite experience. So the first one for me wasn't as bad, but the second one, I felt it and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything with my arm. Like, even if I moved it slightly, I couldn't even change out of my clothes, like, without feeling pain. So that was my experience with arm soreness. At around 1 a.m. that night, I woke up and I felt nauseous. The nausea was pretty bad. I haven't experienced nausea like that before because I actually, and keep in mind this video might get a little gruesome. So if you don't want to watch it, just a warning. But yeah, I felt nausea and I threw up. And then I came back into my room and I had some ginger ale and I tried to actually take some nausea medication. I tried to take it and I couldn't even keep that down. So I threw up again. And I think I threw up about 3 times that night, but I stayed up the whole night. So from 1 a.m. to like 7 in the morning, I was awake. After that, I was able to eat. I was able to have some like saltine crackers, some toast, just your typical like routine after you have nausea. You want to stick with the brat diet. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Brat.
Bananas, rice, applesauce,
toast. Yeah. So I went about my day. I had some light like toast with crackers, with ginger ale, lots of fluids. And that afternoon, I did feel a bit better. I still had like a little bit, after when I experienced the nausea, I also had a really bad headache. The next morning I woke up with a pretty severe headache, almost like a hangover. If anyone's experienced like a really bad hangover, that's what it feels like. You're very sensitive to light, you have a really bad headache, almost like a migraine. That's what it felt like for me. And then it went away eventually. But that's kind of what my reaction was to the Moderna vaccine. I was like, at that point, when I was not feeling too great, I called in sick. I pretty much told my job I can't work today. Most people that I worked with, they did the same thing. They took the day off, and then the next day they were able to go back. But I think a lot of companies are also starting to give people the day off when they get the vaccine. So who knows, maybe you might be part of that, part of a company that does that. But yeah, mostly a headache, nausea, and just arm soreness for me. And I think for you it was...
it was a little bit of arm soreness, fever, chills.
Yeah. So again, every person has a different reaction.
So as you can see, our reactions were quite a bit different from vaccine to vaccine, but that you can also have completely different reactions with yours. So please let us know if you've gotten the vaccine, what kind of reactions you had. We'd love to know. And also maybe plan to take the next day off, just in case you have any kind of symptoms, and just to rest as your body is building up that immunity.
So thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, comment below. Make sure you subscribe and give us a big thumbs up.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.